Welcome to being outdoors. Where's the spider? Oh, there it is right there. It's gonna be really funny if I do from here, because like the bottom half of my face is lit, so I may have to like come over here for the perspective. We set up a screen. The screen. I saw from Paul Roth that there's a site, there's a Google Calendar for We Blog, We Vlog they set up for VEDA, or Vlaugust. Vlaugust. Prompt today is the earliest memory that I have, and I want to say my earliest memory was chasing imaginary leprechauns around a room and pretending there were holes in the wall when I was in kindergarten or preschool or whatever. But that's actually not, that's like a vague memory, but that's not like the most descriptive early memory that I remember, so I'm going to pick a better one than that. I took a fishing trip inside of the wilderness down in Pennsylvania one day when I was 10, and we were taking a stream walk. My dad and I were taking a stream walk. And we hear the splash all of a sudden, and we find out that there are 3 largemouth that are caught inside the stream. So we decide to rescue them and try to feed them oxygen right through the water as we walk upstream to the other lake, because the 2 lakes cross paths. So we're splashing around in the water, these things. We build a dam of rocks. We grab these fish with our bare hands. They're all like 15, 14 inches long. Not huge, mind you, but just decent size. And we bring them back up to the lake. We rescue them. It was known as the fish rescue. I was 10 years old, and it was probably the most fun I've ever had inside of a small brook with deep sections of about half a foot, 1 foot, 1.5 feet of water, 1.5 foot of water. But that's my earliest memory, and I still remember. I wrote something down after it happened, so I could like look back at the journal. It's pretty cool. I wanted to share some thoughts on habits from my journal before, because I thought about this, and it's the power of habits. Little snippets of stuff that you can think about, and some questions for you. Just VEDA. Vlaugust questions for the golden rule of habit change is that you can't extinguish a bad habit, but you can change it. You have old cue, old reward, but new routine. And it's all about changing the routine so that your mind doesn't go back to the original way. And I thought about that old saying, old habits die hard. Well, old habits don't die hard. They're just changed, overlapped with better habits. Habit formation can be physical, emotional, or mental. It talks about the basal ganglia. It's the center part of the brain that's really relies on habit formation. It's your primitive side. It also compares the brain to an onion. Like it's from the core at it's really, really simple for habit formation, and then as you go outside to the latter parts, like the prefrontal, like your brain area, those are more complex, and that's more about thinking and complex functions. So it's possible to learn and make unconscious decisions without remembering anything about the lessons or the decision making. Cool, our brain has neurological cravings before we even get the actual reward itself. We crave before we use our senses to sense the reward. Like before you're about to eat lunch, you have like the neurological craving, like, oh man, I really gotta eat lunch. It's cool. It talks about the history of toothpaste. It talks about Febreze being an accident. It talks about the positive value of exercise, which is really, really fascinating, and how the brain like actually craves the endorphins after exercise, which is why exercise is such a great routine. The sun is bright. This is the habit loop. Here, wait. Here's the key to all things. You have your cue, your routine, your reward, and here's the craving. Craving drives the habit loop, and what you need to do is be able to identify your cue that caused you to feel a certain way, what's causing you to act in a way, change your routine, but still keep the reward the same. This was cool too, the capacity to believe that things will get better. There's something really powerful about shared experiences. A group kind of suppresses disbelief in people, a community creates belief. You begin to get people to believe in something else in order to believe in themselves. That's true of a lot of things. A lot of shared experiences online, especially with big groups of people, are able to do things that you weren't thought possible. That you didn't think were possible. The other thing it talks about a lot in this book is the idea of free will, of how free will is actually really important in exercising. It's kind of like a muscle. The more free will you exercise in your decision making and awareness of your decisions, the more power you have of developing your habits and not letting those tiny little inclinations for your cravings to overpower you, which is definitely important. Every habit is malleable, but it takes initiative, and all of a sudden it's dark and quiet. My battery actually died as I was recording outside, so I had to recharge the battery fully, just because I felt like it. That's why we're indoors. But like, what's your keystone habit? There's certain habits in the book that talks about keystone habits that kind of you focus on and they improve your life. Exercise is one, eating right,
Writing in a journal helps too. It's just really, really neat. So it's just like it's like a guide at the end of the book to taking the ideas and applying them. That's about it. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Check it out if you want. I'm gonna go read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and go to sleep. Good night. Vlaugust, day 6, or for me, just kind of starting, just trying it out. Good night. Keep creating an awesome self. Keep reading, and pay attention to your habits. Take control of your habits with willpower and understanding. Bye.